Welcome to Fahrenheit Performance Podcast, episode number 33. I've been waiting a long time for this. I've been trying to get a hold of Riyadh for a few months now. I think you're always out of town or you're always racing or something. Today we have Riyadh Hakim, right? Say your name, Riyadh. You are a rider for the Asia Union TCS racing team. You're also an Asian XC champ, national cross-country champ, DH champ, many champs. Everyone in Singapore knows you. In the mountain bike scene, I think, would know you. Why don't you just give a brief intro?
So I'm Riyadh, national cyclist. I ride for Asian Union TCS, a newly formed mountain bike team, consisting of a few Asian riders. I think some notable achievements have already been said by Martin. We don't have to repeat it again. But I am proud of my achievements that I've gotten the past 7 years, racing mountain bikes and a little bit of road bikes here and there. I just enjoy riding my bike.
You look like it. Every single photo you have, you're doing a wheelie or you're smiling. You just look like you're just having fun.
The love for cycling is just really, really great. Even at the start of my cycling journey, I really just enjoy being on my bike. Having the wind on my face.
I think if you're gonna go along in sport, you need that, right?
Yeah, I think
look at Pogacar compared to Vingegaard, for example, right? Pogacar looked like he's enjoying it so much more than Vingegaard is, and he probably lasts a bit longer just because he just loves it.
Yeah, the love for the sport is the most important, I think, for me. It's one of the things that made me get this far at all. When you get out to train, and sometimes it's already very tiring and you're already tired to get on the bike to keep on training. But I think every training session, just getting on the bike for me, it feels like a sense of freedom and like enjoyment.
Just like when you first ride as a kid, it's a freedom and enjoyment and getting away and exploring.
Even if you have a shit day, comes a power.
And sometimes you have a shit day at personal life, you can get right. If you have a shit day riding, it's still riding, right? It's still great. So like I said before, we've been trying to do this for quite a while now, but 2 weeks ago, we spent a lot of time together. What I want to do is in a few weeks when Belinda and Dr. Jen are around, Belinda's not around right now, have another podcast just to talk about what happened and your broken collarbone. But basically, you broke your collarbone on the Saturday, you had surgery on the Tuesday, and then you rode the net champs from the Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. So how are you doing now?
To try to do the impossible.
And you came second, so you were very close. But I think we'll dedicate a whole episode to that. Because there's quite a lot of to unpack right there, right?
Yeah, fine.
So just rewind, right? Everyone knows you as Riyadh, the mountain biker, national champ, everything. But how did you get started? What did you do? BMX first, or did you?
So I started mountain biking first. At the age of maybe 14 or late 14.
Okay.
I can't really remember. I don't really remember. But my dad was the one who's got me into mountain biking.
So he's a mountain biker too?
Yeah, he's a mountain biker. He was a mountain biker before me.
I met him at the Nat Chance that day.
Yeah,
we spent some time together.
Yeah, so his friends got him to ride. And like a few months after he got me to ride, I always wanted to ride a bike, but we didn't get a bike. And I was like more busy with football, trying to find some kind of success in football. But
so that was your sport back then?
That was my sport back then. But I only did like school football. So I played football for my school, and then when I went to poly, I tried to get into the football team as well, but always get the second choice because they always choose club players first. Probably just someone who doesn't train 5 times a week. I didn't understand the whole framework for being a national athlete that time. So I think it's okay. But then I found a new love for cycling.
So back then, that's got to be almost 10 years ago, right? Almost. Were they already riding 29ers and everything, or did you learn on a 26 inch?
I started with a 26-inch bike. I was a Polygon as well.
Okay.
My first bike is a Polygon. My current bike is a Polygon. So I started with a full suspension. Maybe it's an entry-level mountain bike. Just riding with my my dad every single weekend.
Yep.
I would like wait every single day in school.
Yep.
Monday to Friday. Okay, I'm gonna ride this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I do ride my bike on weekdays as well, but after school, around the neighborhood with my friends. But the most exciting part will be going to the trail.
Proper trail riding.
Proper trail riding.
So that's what you guys would do. You and your dad would just go ride in
the trail.
Chestnut, Bukit Timah, these sort of trails.
Mostly Mandai, Bukit Timah, and Chestnut because it's nearer to our house.
Yep.
Occasionally go to Kent Ridge, which is a bit further.
But that's a long trek to get back home, I think.
And also Pulau Ubin.
Yep. Even longer.
Yeah, but Pulau Ubin was fun because it was a whole experience. Riding the bumbo and going to...
Getting a ride to the trailhead as well, quite a fair way from...
Yeah, and then it's just like away from Singapore for a bit. It was quite fun as well.
Do you still go there nowadays?
No. So I think Pulau Ubin has renovated twice.
Okay.
And I still haven't been there.
Yeah, I was there with my kids before COVID. That's the last time I think
I think now focusing a lot on training and seeing, it's a bit difficult for us to plan a trip to Pulau Ubin. Yeah, and it's gonna take so much time and effort. Yeah.
So then
I miss it a lot.
Okay, so you're out riding with your dad. I guess your younger brother is too young back then, right, to ride?
Yeah, we wanted him to get on the bike as well, but he didn't find the love that early. He was still very young, and he had other likes. And so he started doing skate scootering.
Okay.
Maybe it was cooler. At
the Somerset skate park or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But then, then how did this casual riding with your dad turn into? Did you enter a race together, or did you do a race and realize actually I'm pretty good at this?
So just trail riding, I would always like have a little bit of fun trying to follow faster riders. When I was like a little boy, I always find it a challenge to follow riders who look more professional. Have a lot of experience.
And sometimes, especially mountain biking, you can see the best lines when you follow the experienced riders, right?
Yeah. So I find it a challenge to like keep up with them or even be faster than them in our local trails, and then. They would also feel like, oh,
who's this little guy?
Yeah, who's this little guy? I'm gonna go faster.
Yeah.
And so it ends up being like a little race in the trail. So I find a lot of excitement doing that.
Yep.
And my dad always says like, don't do that. They're gonna get
angry.
Get angry at you or something. But I just do it anyway. So and then so slowly I felt like I want to do this competitively. So I started to do my own type of training, just like maybe riding a bit faster each time I ride the trails.
Yep.
So trying to beat a KOM.
Because Strava works in trails, right?
Yeah. So Strava was a big thing for me last time, trying to get the KOM, trying to beat the people's timings.
Yep.
And when I see that, maybe it's possible for me to try to do some racing.
Yeah.
And at that point when I was younger, I liked to watch a lot of downhill edits. When Pink Bike, Vital MTB was really big.
And they're so fun to watch, those sort of things.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to try racing downhill.
Yep.
Yeah, so then I raced with my entry-level mountain bike in like, they had like urban downhill races in Velocity. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, that's right here, like next door, right?
Yeah, so...
I remember that, actually. They used to do that.
So I was like always there, but not there. Maybe just shy from the podium.
Well, everyone else had their fancy downhill bikes, right?
Yeah,
you're entry level
polygon, and I like changed the suspension, tried to change the drivetrain to make it feel much better and more durable. So I was like almost there. Went to the national championships, 4th place in the juniors.
Yep.
And then another time 4th place. I was like, this is a little bit difficult. Maybe I cannot do it.
Yeah.
But I always try to do my best in everything I do. So,
do you think that helped your bike handling and skill having the worst bike in the field?
For sure, I think, because I just made my bike look good and feel good according to how I want to ride. And then but whatever it is, I would always try to be very fast.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
because like if someone had given you what's it, this
an enduro bike,
an enduro bike or an Epic, right? Epic Evo, let's just say Epic Evo, right? So a lot of people ride that bike.
Yeah.
And you would have smoked the field, and then you wouldn't realize how tough it would actually be to be in the like and then if you have a not so good bike, you have to make up for it in athleticism, in skill, in these other ways.
So in the end, like you build up your body and your skills.
Yeah.
And then I eventually got a better bike.
Yep.
And my dad really wanted me to like chase my dream and like do what I want. So he also brought me to races overseas in Malaysia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we even drove like 13 hours all the way to Kelantan just to race one of the Malaysian Malaysian downhill series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also was quite close, you know.
Yeah.
I was quite close, but not there. So after secondary school, I started a part-time job at Rodaling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the mechanics said, you always ride road bikes and group rides.
Yeah.
And always like every day I always hear his stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I should get myself a road bike as well and try something different.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so up until then, you're only riding downhill.
Yeah.
Not even cross country, just
not
downhill.
even cross country, only downhill jumps, down staircases,
Yeah.
jumping down curbs and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. So then I was like, maybe I should try road bike, but like I didn't want to get into it because I had to wear tie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From a downhiller to a road biker, right?
Road biker.
Yeah.
From like loose
Baggy shorts,
looking cool, and then to like tight
and lycra.
Yeah, it's a bit totally different.
So you weren't ready for the commitment of lycra just yet.
Yeah, but it's more of the looks lah. But the riding part, I was like, oh, this is something I'm interested in. So he brought me to like group rides, and it was so fun.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone.
It's a different dynamic, right? It's not so it's a solitary sport as a downhill would be.
Mountain biking is always like sort of like you're alone in the jungle. Even if you're with your buddies, you don't even see them.
It's not like on a road bike you can chat with the person next to you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's hard to do that on a mountain bike.
Yeah. So when we rode that group ride, it was like a fast group ride.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is a different type of cycling. It's like you need to be drafting,
tactics,
and you need to like have a good level of fitness to be riding together with them. Yeah. And you see like old guys doing strong rides as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is interesting. So and I started to train more because riding road allows you to ride for longer and
so aerobic base was building up, right?
Building up.
Yep.
So and then I joined the Singapore Poly cycling group.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had a coach who was an ex-national athlete.
Oh, cool.
As well, Lemuel Lee.
Oh, I know Lemuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he coaches. He still coaches the Singapore Poly.
Yeah, he has a company called Prank Smart.
Yeah. So he still coaches us, and he said, "Why don't you try and go for the national team trial?" I mean, for road or mountain bike, I didn't know, but yeah, he said he knows someone, which is my current coach, Riyadh Hakim. So and then we got to, I don't know, he contacted me. He asked me if I wanted to race XCO.
Because they would have ridden together, Janadi and Lemuel would have ridden together on the OCBC team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that basically started everything, like the serious part of competitive cycling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it as something that I wanted to do, and there's potential in me doing well.
Yep.
So it's a good combination.
So at this stage, how old were you? Poly age?
19, I think.
19. So that year that you won the U23 cross country road and downhill all in the same year, is that about the same time as that?
That would be 1 year after, I think.
Well, yeah. So you got started getting serious. Then the next year you just went for everything and you won everything. Right?
Not as straightforward as that, but
of course not. Oh.
Yeah, but we started to train more and get a structured training plan in. You know, Coach Janadi helped me really build me from nothing to something.
Yeah.
We just started with simple training plans, just riding consistently with no like power numbers or something.
Yeah.
And then
you were riding on the road or were you riding on the?
Yeah. So when I already got my road bike, I was just purely doing a lot more road riding and with a mix of riding mountain bikes on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I maintain my training at that point. So just simple rides, and then after that, slowly we got to structured training. We got on the whiteboard bike, the tests.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then weekly, twice on the walk bike, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, I felt really strong on that year, and then very motivated to get my first national champion jersey.
Yeah.
And most of the national championships were all around the same time at that period of at that year. I think
Also,
June, July.
they were all. So if you had good fitness at that month, you could
Yeah, you can do everything.
do everything.
Yeah, you can do everything.
Cool.
Yeah, so the first one was road, and then after that it was downhill, and then axial. So in the road, we had it in, I can't remember, Bintan.
Bintan, yeah, maybe.
Bintan. Yeah, we started together with the elites and the under 23s. We had, I think, some guys from the TWC,
Yep.
Firos.
Yep.
Yeah, I think were the big.
Oh, because they're all young back then. You
Yeah.
guys were all young back then.
Yeah. I don't know if Afan should be still in junior, so we did a race together.
Yeah.
And Junaidi started off elite together with me. So
Yep.
we were like a team of two against
The bigger team. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just found myself in the final kilometers having that little bit of extra power
Yeah.
compared to the rest.
Yeah. Cool.
It did a good move.
So it was a breakaway. It wasn't a sprint. It was
a solo breakaway.
Yeah.
I got caught like 100 meters to the line,
Oh.
but I sprinted again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I mean, doing mountain bike throughout the whole years, it was quite surprising for my first national champion jersey
On the road,
year on
road
the
right. Yeah. That's quite ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. I was I want it, but
Yeah. But you wanted the other ones more, right? But then you did get. It's not like you didn't get it.
Yeah, I
did. You did.
didn't get it. Yeah. So
And then so that was when you were junior, and then once because you had a run of net champs in the elites as well, right? Once Junadi retired, 21, 22, 23, you were net champ for. Is that for cross country or is that for what was that?
mostly it's cross country Olympics.
Okay.
CO.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went and watched you do it a few Sundays ago, up at the Scout Camp. Is that normally where the cross country race is?
No, so it's a new venue.
Okay.
We usually have it. We had it in Chestnut.
Yep.
And Turf City.
Turf City's gone now,
Yeah,
right?
Turf City's gone, so we don't have a place.
Yep.
And Bukit Timah is a little bit too big to close, and it's gonna be a bit difficult.
Yeah, to contain, because like some dude walking a dog might just go off the course or something.
It's not the most ideal place because it's quite flat and it's not an actual mountain bike course.
Yeah.
But it was still quite technical and fun to race on.
Yep.
I think the last 2 weekends we raced on it. It was actually a really fun course to race on. Like all the turns.
It actually
good flow.
It didn't, like when I arrived, I thought, oh wow, this is really small. But then actually, it was
4 kilos.
yeah, it was quite a long time. Like once you come start finish line, then you come around the trees, and then you disappear. And then I went to the pit zone. It took quite a while to get through all the different weaves and to get out the other side, right?
And that was about 10 minutes, so it's quite decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so you guys formed a team. Must have been 2018-19, the Awana technology team, right?
2017.
And that was only around for a couple of years, right?
I think it was about 3 years.
Yep.
We had good support from Awano.
Yep. What is Awano?
Awano is a poultry company.
Okay.
So they work with the import and export of poultry.
Yep.
For Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we also had technology.
Yep.
With our bikes.
So we're on track bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had quite good funding for traveling and racing.
Yep.
So I think that was really important for the team to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And as mentally as riders as well.
And
like that young.
It's suddenly become a bit more serious, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of kids riding bikes.
At that age, we get exposed to this kind of high level racing.
Mm-hmm.
It motivates us further, and we get to know where we stand in the Asian level or even in the world level. Because we raced the world championships as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but we were really far away. But it was an eye opening experience.
Yeah, I think that same year, the Singapore Cycling Federation sent 2 to Norway or something for the 2
for the road
for the time trial.
Yeah,
and that was I have an experience for those guys too.
Yeah.
And then so that after a couple of years just disbanded, I guess.
Yeah.
And
we had a new.
Yeah, so the new team Virgin is not just a follow on from that team, right? So that one dispersed, and then a bunch of guys got together again, a new bunch of guys, or some same, some different, and then that becomes Virgin Racing, right? And Virgin Racing's still around.
Virgin Racing's still around, and we want to really just focus more on like the youth riders, the juniors, and their development.
So bringing kids up, well, not kids, but bringing riders up from
basically
junior level 16 to 23, 25-ish.
Like when they have fun riding just on their bikes, but they want to take it to the next level. And we see that they have potential. We try to help them as best as we can.
Because when I showed up, when I went to the Nat Champs the other day, there's a big Virgin tent. Your mum was there, man in the tent. Your dad was there. It was like a family, a family affair. Like everyone's helping out a little bit, and there's
and the family members of the boys also come down and support. I think that's like really important.
Yeah, it's cool
for athletes, to see that the family members are supporting them in what they do, and then gives them a sense of meaning a little bit, to push on and to be better and achieve their goal.
And it's also these sort of teams are good because the riders have a sense of family as well in terms of brotherhood, or whatever you want to call it. The Virgin boy, it's just the camaraderie of the team as well, right? And like you don't, even if you have a bad day and one of your teammates has a good day, it's still quite a good day, right? And then now you are for the Asia Union TCS racing team, right? What is that? I googled it a little bit. There's 4 riders, right? 1 Indonesian, you Filipino, Japanese. It's actually a Japanese team, right?
Yeah. So the whole story behind this was basically an idea of having a premier mountain bike team, a strong mountain bike team with good support, to be able to bring riders from Asia to the world stage. And bringing them to the world stage will mean that we get exposed to higher quality races, more difficult races, and it will push us to be better.
So it's not necessarily a Japanese team, right? It's
not necessarily
because
a Japanese team.
Like you guys are only 1/4 of the team is Japanese.
Yeah. Okay. So most of the sponsors are from Japan.
Okay.
Almost all the sponsors are from Japan.
Yeah.
Our management team is Japanese.
Okay.
So, but we are actually registered under Indonesian Federation.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Okay. No, so that's like the union part of it.
Yeah. So Asia Union's like basically an Asian team to getting exposure to the races, not just in Asia, but you've got a proper team. It's not just a ragtag bunch of people. It's a proper team going to proper races, right?
Yeah.
And so has that exposed you to stuff that you hadn't seen before?
Yeah, learning from riders from different countries. Yeah. Even though it's still Asia, but we get access to like understanding what the different countries thinking.
Yeah. In terms of strategy and training and
training, strategy, how they off the bike stuff, how they recover.
Even like culture, right?
Yeah.
What culturally they do differently.
And it's interesting for me to understand that kind of stuff. But it's more like, world just having different countries. That's like the Olympics. It's like the main thing, right? Uniting people through sports, countries through sports. So that was the main basis of the team.
And so what's the plan? Is that, see, there's 4 riders now. Is it going to be 8 riders? Is it going to be 12 riders? What do they want to do?
Okay, so I'm not exactly part of the management team.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just a rider, but we have some plans to get more riders to expand in the near future, because this year is our first year.
Yeah. Oh, so it's a brand new team.
It's really a brand new team.
So how do they reach out to you? Was it did you find them or did they find you?
So it's an idea between me and the Japanese rider.
Okay. So you knew the Japanese rider beforehand?
Yeah, Utah. We raced in India in 2022.
Okay.
So I was just like asking him, how do Japanese guys get sponsors? And
so his English is decent, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's well traveled, so his English is decent.
Yeah.
So I was like, how do they get sponsors and sustain themselves for long periods of time? For me in Singapore, most of my support is like equipment wise,
Yeah.
you get free bike, you get
Mhm.
free equipment to sustain. But
Yep.
in terms of financial, you get all
Free bikes don't pay for your dinner, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like asking that part of support. So she said, yeah, they can find sponsors from the state government, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or even companies are willing to invest in sportmen.
Yeah. For some exposure in exchange
Yeah.
or something, right?
Yeah. So I was like, wow. I'm thinking, what if we join together and make a team, just Japan and Singapore,
Yeah.
and then we can mix.
Yeah. And then some Japanese guys can come down here.
Yeah.
Singaporean guys can go over there.
Yeah, and then we can get some support from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he bought the idea.
Yeah.
He thought it was a really good idea, and we started to look around for potential sponsors in this idea.
Yep.
So he found this guy who is the boss of TCS. I mean, he was friends with him for a very long time, I think. And this boss, he's also good friends with Kohei Yamamoto.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
He's a 4-time Olympian.
Sorry.
10-time XCO Asian champion as well.
Okay.
So he also, this guy has also this idea of having an Asian team as well for a very long time. But he was always busy with training and all that. But he just recently retired after the Tokyo Olympics.
Yep.
So he collaborated with us, and like we wanted to make this team. Finally, after finishing his racing part, now he wants to give back for the Asia community.
Yeah. It's sort of like for many years. So I had Shane Bannon here a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how Green Edge became Green Edge because for many years all the Australians are over in Europe racing, but there's no Australian team, right? Similar to that, right? You guys are all out there racing, but there's no actual Asian team that you can all belong to. They just form one and do your own thing and make it happen, right?
Usually for mountain bike, for the many years, is always just support from the national teams.
Yeah.
So like China, Japan, and the Thailand national team, they would just bring the riders out there, but they never had like a professional kind of team like Nino has, the Scott.
Yeah, factory team.
Or a specialized factory team. They don't have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to do something like that for Asia.
Even if it's a smaller scale, it's still something, right? And you still got some...
Just start first.
Yep.
And when people see that it's actually coming to fruition. And
it's funny, right? No one's your friend at the beginning, but once it's some success, everyone starts to get along, and then it gets kind of snowballs and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah.
So tell me this: you ride obviously mountain bikes, right? Downhill not so much anymore, but you ride cross country, XCO and XCE.
Yeah.
What's the O and what's the E?
So XCO is cross country Olympics.
Okay.
XCE is cross country Eliminator.
So cross country Olympics obviously sounds like what we just saw Tom Peacock win, right?
Yeah.
It's some sort of path, and you got some routes and some rock gardens and some jumps.
So it's the only mountain bike Olympic event.
Okay.
So that's why it's called the cross country Olympic.
Okay. So XCE, the Eliminator, that's like a urban assault sort of riding down wooden structures and stuff.
Yeah, it's a shorter format.
Yep.
It's more of like a sprint race. It races under 2 minutes.
Oof. So it's like
sort of fast pace.
VO2 max.
Full gas all the way. And then usually they have...
So that's almost like a BMX sort of... like style, right?
A lot of the BMX riders, they do well as well in XCE.
Yeah.
But it's just twice as long.
Yeah, but it's still on the gas the whole time, right? Like a BMX race. Yeah.
So just man-made obstacles sometimes, or natural obstacles.
Yep.
Yeah. In a 500-meter course.
So you'd start, I guess, in gates, like a horse sort of thing, right? And then you all go off at the same time.
Yeah, sorry.
Go for the first corner. Yeah. Whoever gets the first corner is going to be the...
So it's a race of 4 guys.
Yeah.
And then only the top 2 that passes the line first goes on to the next round.
Okay.
Yeah, so it usually starts with a time trial where they seed you in top 32.
Okay.
So that's where the heats start.
Yep.
So
number 1 and number 32 goes, and then 2 and 30.
Yeah. So they have heats, 8 heats.
Yep.
4 riders each. Go on to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then to the big final. Yeah. So...
And have you had more success in the O or E?
more success in the E.
E?
Yeah.
Is that just because that's the style of rider you are?
I think I'm more aggressive, and the shorter duration races work better for me.
Okay.
I mean, coming from a downhill background, I think that also helped. Downhill races usually are very short and just full gas and more technical races.
Is that the race that you hurt your shoulder in? Was it
XCE race? XCE World Championship in Germany. World Championship.
Yeah, the World Championship. So
where were you? Was it a heat or was it a quarterfinals or something?
the quarterfinal.
Oh.
And it was the first straight going into the first corner, but it was like 200 meters. And we had an obstacle and crashed into a container.
Yeah.
It's just really tight racing, and we are always bumping shoulders all the time. So it's like whoever gives in first will win.
It's like a chicken, like a game of chicken, right?
Who's the chicken first?
Yeah, no one wasn't.
Yeah. And the both of us didn't want to be chicken.
Yep.
And we just...
You both crashed, right?
Yeah, both of us crashed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I always had more results in the XCE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in Asia, we had the first Asian Championships of XCE in 2019.
Yep.
And I won it.
That's one that you won, right?
That was the one that I won.
Okay. Is that more prevalent, that sort of race? It seems like it's a bit more spectator friendly, easier to set up than a big cross country trail somewhere.
Definitely getting more and more popular now.
Yeah.
At the start, a lot of the Asian countries didn't want the riders to join when they had it in the ACC.
Okay.
So like teams like Korea, China, Japan didn't send the team riders in.
Wow. Okay.
To compete because it was like not an Olympic sport yet, and then
so they look down, so-called look down a little
like
bit.
A new thing, you know. But now all of the countries are sending their riders in because it's like, it's another difficult event that is competitive and nice to watch.
Yep.
So why not?
Is it possible there's going to be an Olympic sport one day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So I think
because BMX is Olympic sport, and then cross country is Olympic sport, and it's sort of a mix between the two.
We hear some speculations going around.
That's cool.
Hopefully it comes in the LA Olympics. And
so let's just say it did come in the LA Olympics. You would be 29 right then, right? Roughly 30. Okay. 30. So you'd still be
26, I think 28.
28. You're 28.
I'll be 30.
Okay, you'll be 30. The year you turn 30, right?
Yeah.
So you'd still be you still be quite young and still be able to compete, right? So if like after this Olympics they release next year they release the list of sports, because they normally do quite a fair way out, and then suddenly XCE is there. Would you go full gas and just try to qualify for the Olympics?
I would be the most excited person. Yeah. I mean, XCE is undoubtedly my favorite event, and I do pretty well.
Yeah.
The 2 years that I was racing most of the World Cup circuits, I was in the top 10 overall.
Oh, nice.
And each year I had at least a podium position. So I already have 3 World Cup podiums now. One in Barcelona, where I got 5th, and then one in Indonesia, I got 4th in 2023.
Yep.
No. Yeah, 2023. No.
Last year.
2022.
Okay.
And then this year I also got another one in Indonesia.
Yep.
So I always believe it's not impossible to be the best in the world in this discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those sort of races, anyone in the top 10 conceivably could have a good day, and anyone in the top 10 could have a bad day.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's always changing.
Yeah.
It's always changing, and
it's not one of those. It's not an exercise contest, right? It's not just the fittest person's going to win. It's got a little luck. You got to have a bit of guts. You got to have a bit of
stay on the bike.
Yeah, you got to stay out of trouble, right?
The chain doesn't break when you do the first sprint.
Yeah,
yeah. So anything can happen, and I feel like I want to do the best in the sport, which is going to be the Olympics if it comes in the Olympics.
So I talked to Luke Chua about triathlon Olympics a couple of weeks ago. And he said you need to be in the top 50, maybe the top 60 to qualify for the triathlon Olympics, right? Is that the same for cross country or XCO?
XCO, in Asia, we only had 2 spots.
Okay. Also, Asia has 2 spots, and then you've got to be the top 2 in Asia.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So how to qualify was to be the Asian champion in the previous year. So last year in China, we had in India, we had the Asian Championships.
So Asia includes Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, China, Japan, everything in not Russia, right? But everything east of Russia, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, all the Asian countries.
Yeah.
But last year in India, the Asian Championships, it was dominated by China. So China already got the spot.
Okay.
And then another way to qualify for the Olympics is through country rankings. Yeah, so the top 3 riders in your country will take the points from them.
Oh, but that's a bit hard for you.
And then, you qualify.
Yeah, so and then they will rank it, and then I think in the top 3 you qualify.
But a lot of other Asian countries don't qualify. So this year we only had like 1 Japanese women rider, and then 1 Chinese Asian rider, and then in the men's only China.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So in XCO it's really difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the XCE qualification is gonna be, because when there's this new discipline, I think a lot of the pro mountain bikers are also gonna try to secure a spot.
Do you think so?
I think so too, for sure. But it's a totally different discipline.
It's a totally different skill set as well.
Yeah, totally different skill set, different tactics.
Yeah.
They have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult for sure for us and for them, but it's a challenge that I'm willing to take.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And I really hope they have it. I'll be rooting for you. So you broke your collarbone a few weeks ago now. Is that the biggest injury you've ever had when you've been riding?
Yeah, I was quite lucky to not have any broken bone for the past 6 to 7 years of really competitive racing.
Yeah.
And the biggest injury that I have was not even in the past 6 years. It was when I was 15. I was in the Jamboree. You know what Jamboree is?
No.
So it's a like a cross country marathon race in Malaysia.
Okay.
They have it a lot.
Running.
No. Cross country mountain.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a downhill. Someone crashed in front of me. I didn't have time to react.
And it's strangely.
And then my knee just split open.
Oh.
Yeah. But I was lucky.
But you didn't break any bones.
I didn't break any bones.
Split open.
Yeah, it just opened. And then through all the downhill races, cross country races, road races, I didn't have many crashes to have a really big injury.
Yep.
But last 3 weeks in the XCE World Championship, really, I wanted to risk it all.
Is that why you think you had 6 years of luck or of injury free, and then you had this big crash? Is it because now you're in a professional team, now you got to get results, and now you're sort of pushing the limits a little bit more? Is that why you think it happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a mixture of a lot of things. This year being the first year in a professional team, you know, I mean, I have my own expectations of myself. Yeah. And then, of course, you want to do well and show that you deserve the spot in this professional team. You would want to try to find some result or something that you can show.
Yeah, of course. And then if you do really well, for example, then it puts it on your resume for future, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm not so cautious, or I don't hold myself back a lot this year. And I really just want to do my best in every single training, every single race I do. So I think that made me crash more.
Yeah.
So this year I crashed 3 times, which was pretty bad. Once in Philippines doing a pre-ride training. Okay. I did a jump and then I overshot it and I hurt my knee quite bad. Got a little bit of infection because I didn't clean it enough.
Oh, okay.
And then I got off the bike for maybe 1 week-ish.
Okay, that's not that long.
And then Tour of Thailand, first stage.
Road bike.
Yep. Tour of Thailand. Quite a quiet stage, and they wanted to sprint at the end. Everyone was like eager to show what they had in the first
day, right?
Yeah, and it was a very, very quiet day up until the 10-kilometer mark. Everyone just started going crazy. And I think it was quite sketchy because there was a lot of corners and the roads weren't so clean. So everyone was quite on the edge already. And we just like went into this little S-bend, really going super fast. And a few of us just like washed out on the left side. And I got a lot of road rash. But I cracked my bike. Yeah. But on day 2, we managed to find a bike, and I still continued the race and finished the tour. On a rented bike. And then the biggest crash this year was the collarbone fracture.
So Tour of Thailand, you said you've been riding road at quite a high level as well then, I guess. So your SEA Games with Boon last time, right?
On the same team with Boon. For the past 2 SEA Games.
How do you like that? How do you like riding on the road?
I love road cycling.
You do? Or is it
cycling.
just for your endurance for the cross country?
No. I really enjoy road cycling.
Yeah.
Before we had our first SEA Games, my first SEA Games in Vietnam, we trained a lot in Australia. We spent I think about 2 months there.
Oh, nice.
For 1.5 months.
Yeah.
So racing crates and all that. It really opened my eyes into road cycling and the tactics involved and what you can do to find success even though you're not the strongest rider.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of
A lot of times the strongest rider doesn't win a road bike race. Right?
Yeah. So, and that's what I enjoy about road cycling is the tactics involved, and of course it's high speed adrenaline.
Yeah.
And so many riders riding close together.
I never realized how good Asian road cycling was until I was watching the Olympics, and there's one Thailand rider in the breakaway for like 150 kilometers. Like, I was so happy to see a country that I so close. That was.
And we have like riders from Kazakhstan also in the world tour.
Yeah.
So I think Asia cycling is at it's at a good level. I see at a good level.
If you had a chance to ride for a road team professionally, would you take that chance as well?
If I get the offer, for sure.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, if I get the offer. Yeah.
Okay, so let's I guess rewind it back a little bit. Training wise, when you're in Singapore, or I guess in general you're training, how many hours a week are you on the bike?
It ranges.
Okay.
Depends on which part of the season I'm at.
Okay.
And then also like if an A race is coming by or is it a low season. But generally during the base periods, it'll be just more longer rides, you know.
Yep.
Longer steady rides to build up the aerobic base. It will be like 18 to 23 hours.
Okay.
Of full ride.
That's quite a lot. Oh, just riding.
Just
right?
riding. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's be like off season ish.
Okay, so if you're doing 18 hours, let's round to 20 hours, right? If you're doing 20 hours of riding, is that 10 hours on the road bike, 10 hours on the mountain bike, or 15 on the road and 5 on the mountain, or what do you do?
No, generally, I spend maybe like 30% on the bike, on the mountain bike, and then 70% on the road bike.
Okay, so that's just to keep your endurance up and to keep your
because cross country is also like an endurance sport.
Yeah.
So endurance part is quite big.
Yeah.
And I think I can get away with lesser technical training because I think I have enough technical skill per se. So I think I spend more time building my engine and really focusing on the endurance.
You should try gravel racing. It just seems to be a mix between cross country and mountain biking and road biking.
Yeah, it is. But it's a bit long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 300 kilometers.
I prefer the shorter races and more aggressive races.
Fine. Fair.
Yeah.
But then, so you don't particularly pay much attention or do dedicated skill sessions. I guess it's riding down the trails and...
Yeah, just having fun.
Do you think that... So going back to your entry-level polygon, is that where your skills were made? Because I see pictures of you doing one-handed wheelies across the finish line, right? How did you get from riding with your dad to one-handed wheelies?
Yeah, I think the most part of where I got my skills or technical ability is when I was racing a lot of downhill last time.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had to do crazy things like going downstairs, jumps.
And you got to think quickly.
Yeah,
right?
Honest, and we're going fast.
Yeah.
So I think it helps fix me.
Yeah,
it helps
decision making and reflexes, I guess.
Yeah. So I can get away a bit with lesser technical or like full technical training, but of course it's really important.
Yep.
And we do like pump track sessions to get the body positions and bike movement. Yeah, but I do slightly less, more endurance work. Yeah.
Okay. For a newbie like me, how do I learn how to do a wheelie like that?
Wow. When I was a newbie, it took me 1 year of almost riding every day and like just trying to do wheelies almost every single day. Every time I ride, I would just like squeeze in a few minutes of like just trying to get the pedal position, the pull up motion.
Is it easier to do downhill or upper hill?
Uphill is easier.
So if it's a slight uphill, it's easier because the bike is already slightly inclined.
Much easier. And then like I think the center of gravity is already a little bit more backwards, so you'll find it easier to pull up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I always tell, and like a lot of people always ask how do I learn how to do a wheelie?
Yeah, because you're there one hand and you got one finger on the brake and then you got two fingers in the air and you ride across the finish line, right?
Yeah.
It looks really easy.
Yeah.
I'm sure now it is easy for you, but then I try it and like, what the heck? I can't even do it two hands.
Now it's second nature, but it's a lot of practice. Because you really need to find the center of gravity or the balance that works for you, and also the breaking points of not going too far back. You need to.
So if you're going too far back, you can tap the brake and it will correct you.
Yeah, tap the brake.
Okay.
Tap the brake slightly.
So at the beginning of your season, when you get a new bike, right? Do you spend 15 minutes learning how to wheelie on that new bike? Is it different for different bikes?
Maybe like 1 minute.
Okay, but it's not vastly different for different bikes.
Different. Yeah, once you know how to wheelie, I think it's like you can wheelie any bike.
Oh, cool.
Any bike. So, but to learn how to wheelie is a long time. I think you just have to keep on practicing and find what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't put in the practice, I think you will never get it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like anything and anything else,
in everything
is a skill, you know.
Yep. Yeah, and then you watch mountain bike videos, and then someone will jump and land on the back wheel and just keep wheeling down the hill, right? That level of competency is like
That's more
next level.
Yeah.
Okay. So what next for you? It's SEA Games next year. When's the next Asian Games?
Next Asian Games will be 26.
Okay, in Japan. Oh, perfect.
I go, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Japan. Everything Japan.
So you'll be going for SEA Games. So now you're rehabbed, right? You're basically back to normal, right? Almost fully back.
3 weeks after, and I'm already having like 9.
So you can you can do this now, like you can put your arms up.
I can have full range of motion. I think.
Okay.
It's just the strengthening phase.
Yep.
So just getting my muscles back to normal, and then trying to hold my bike position back to normal. Because now I sort of like compensate a little bit.
Yeah.
Guarding it a little bit.
Yeah. You're gonna have to watch out for that because you might compensate so much that once you're fully healed, you're still gonna be.
That's why I
used to
like try to focus.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean next year is SEA Games year.
So SEA Games changes every single time, right? Is SEA Games next in Vietnam, right? Is it? No, Thailand.
Thailand. Yeah.
Are they going to have cross country mountain biking?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Because they have good Thai riders for cross country, and cross country has been in the SEA Games for quite a bit now.
Yep.
So it's quite a general primary sport now. But yeah, every track is different. You know, in Vietnam we had like a crazy climbing course, which is not technical but big 5-minute climb at the start. Not a traditional cross country course. And then in Cambodia it was a really good course, nice and dry, a little bit rocky.
How have you done in the SEA Games for cross country?
I got 11th, or was it 16th?
Have you ever had a race that you've done, like you've had a good race at the SEA Games, or has it always been something happens?
And I think the past 2 SEA Games I didn't do pretty well.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of managing nerves, I think.
Yep. Oh, okay.
After realizing it, I was like, yeah, I think I need to work on managing my nerves. Because I always do well in races where I sort of like don't take it so seriously. Like 2 weeks after the Cambodia SEA Games, we have a race in Thailand. All the SEA Games guys were there.
Same people.
Yeah, and I got 3rd.
Oh, so I did a episode with Ben Koo. It'll come out in a couple of weeks. That he said exactly the same thing.
Oh no, it was 2nd.
Yeah, he said that the big races where there's a lot of pressure, he doesn't do well, great. And the races where nothing's expected, he'll do really, really well.
Yeah.
Right?
So I spent some time thinking about it. I was like, why is it?
Yeah, it's a real sports psychology sort of thing to unlock.
So then the next big race after that race was Asian Games, because it was same year. So I went into the Asian Games doing like just really having fun, enjoying the process, not putting expectations on myself, or not worrying about what other people are going to expect of me. And I raced a really good race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got 9th.
Nice. But that's
I didn't get a.
But that's 9th in Asia, right?
9th in Asia
is better than 6th in SEA Games.
Yeah, and it's like my first Asian Games. I was very proud of it. So just good times.
Yeah. So then, so you're gonna keep trying to do that. SEA Games, Asian Games, SEA Games, Asian Games for the foreseeable future until at least 2029. Whereas SEA Games Singapore, right? There's 29.
Get a medal. Yeah. I mean, SEA Games and Asian Games being like a multi-sport event, It's always very big, very prestigious, and then to get a medal in one of those games would be very meaningful for me.
Yeah.
In my cycling career.
Yeah. I think
Even though like I have 3 World Cup medals already, but I think I still want to do SEA Games and Asian Games until I get a medal. Yeah, so I'll still.
And you're close. You're close. So let's hope this next year comes up, and you'll be able to do it. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming in, Riyadh. How's the best way to get a hold of you? Instagram, I guess.
Instagram is the best.
Riyadh Hakim 14, right?
Yeah,
At your
always on Instagram most, but I'm also on Facebook. Only, Facebook and Instagram.
No TikTok, no X, no nothing. Yeah, I don't do so either. Okay, Riyadh, man, thank you so much.
So much for your time.
I will catch up again. We'll do another one just for your shoulder because I think that's got a lot to unpack as well. Okay. As we will catch up again. Okay.